to the Average Meat channel. I'm Mark, and this is our Sunday night live stream. Boy, does my background area look messy today. That's my studio area. That's where everything gets done. And of course, like always, I am just going to hop on here and hop on pop. I don't remember that. Hop on pop. I just want to make sure that I am actually going live, and it looks like I certainly am. So, welcome everyone. I know that I missed the last couple of weeks, but life has just taken over, and there's just a lot of things that have been happening. So, let's jump right into it. Why does my ceiling fan keep turning on? I got myself one of these ceiling fans. I installed it, it's been a while ago now, maybe 6 months or more, probably longer than that even. But occasionally the fan portion will just turn on. I absolutely do not understand it. Now, it's got a remote control, and the remote control, it's wireless, of course, and I can turn on either the light or the fan. It has a little dial, I can push up to 7 different speeds. They all seem the same to me. But for whatever reason, sometimes in the middle of the night, that fan turns on. It's like I have a poltergeist living in my house. So that is just kind of strange. If anyone knows anything about that, and if you can give me any ideas at all as to why my did you guys just see Max's tail go by? As to why my fan turns on randomly, I would be forever grateful to you. Um, so today, oh man, today was a busy and weary day. I was trying to get my garage cleared out because I want to fit both my cars in there. Right now, I have my motorcycle and one car is what I can fit in there. So the Corvette sits outside, and I don't like the Corvette sitting outside. So I moved my Harley out back. And what I'm going to do, it needs a good scrubbing anyway. So I'm going to give it a bath, and then I'm going to get myself a custom cover for that. And I'm going to store that outside my lanai out on my patio. And that way I should be able to keep 2 cars in there. But I emptied out, oh, probably 2/3 of my garage, one half of the garage certainly, and a lot of the other half. And I cleared it out and I hosed it all off and dried it and squeegeed it and put stuff back, rearranged things and rolled my cabinets back in. And I'll tell you, I am just bushed. You can see I got a little bit of sun today, it looks like. So that was my day. And who's here? Let's get some thumbs up going here today. I'm not seeing any jibber jabber. I see some people are here, but I'm not seeing anyone welcoming themselves or saying hello. So pop on into the chat. Let's say hello. Find out who's here right now. This is going to be a kind of a quick review of what's been going on in the channel, what I'm looking forward to. So my most recent one, I haven't put up a video in 9 days. And I've been editing the, hey, Paul, welcome, San Diego. All right, so still a little early there. I've only been to San Diego a couple of times. I have a funny story about San Diego. I was down there on business. It's when I used to travel a lot more for business. And you'll have to tell me, is it called Old Town? Is that what it's called? It's kind of a touristy place. So I was down there and I saw a cane that I really liked. It was just a fancy cane and it had um, like a wood in a spiral shape, and then it had a brass handle on the top. And I just really liked it. I took a liking to it. So I bought this cane as a souvenir of my visit to San Diego. And I got to the airport, and it was too long to fit in my bag, so I was just carrying it in my hand. And my carry-on, and I had this crazy souvenir cane. And I saw it in the garage today. It was out there. I should have brought it in. So I didn't know we'd be talking to you, Paul. So anyway, I got to the airport and I was waiting for my flight. I was at the gate, and a gate agent came to me and said, "Would you?" Old Town is Mexico Village. Okay, that could be it. Yeah, yeah, I think that was it. It's like a Mexican village. Yep. And so I'm waiting at the gate, and a gate agent comes up to me. He said, "Would you like to board early?" And I'm thinking, well, yeah, it depends. What does it cost? And they said, "Oh, no, nothing doesn't cost anything." I thought, well, sure, I'll board early. Why not? And, I didn't, I mean, I had status, but it didn't warrant early boarding. I didn't have, any early boarding pass or anything. And as I was waiting, it hit me. Um, they thought that I needed a cane because I needed help walking. That's what I think happened. And I was too embarrassed to say anything. So they came and got me. And so I just walked on and I used my cane and I got on the plane. And I felt really embarrassed and I felt kind of ashamed. But on the other hand, it wasn't hurting anything. I had my assigned seat. It's not like I was, getting anything before anyone else. And so when I got back home, I just got off like everybody else. But yeah, that was kind of funny that my souvenir cane, they thought that I was, needed it. And I don't look that old, do I? I think I have a youthful vibrance, a youthful exuberance. All right, so I took a long time to get the video out, but I did that Marco Island Historical Museum. And that was really a neat place. And just to clarify from what I said in the video, yes, that museum is free to everybody. There's something like 5 Collier County museums that are absolutely free. I've only been to 2 of them so far. I was at the one at Immokalee Pioneer Ranch, I think it's called. I did that about 2 years ago, and that was a really neat place. It was, like the name implies, hey, Mark. And it was an interesting place. And, I mean, I have a place on Marco Island, as you all know. And strangely enough, I just never visited that museum. So my most recent video that was posted, I think I just posted it yesterday. It's like a half-hour video. I don't usually post half-hour videos, but this one was just really neat because Marco Island is not a very old place. It wasn't starting to be developed until the 1960s. And so it's, the old buildings in there aren't that old. And it's a very interesting museum. And the big thing, oh, I should have brought my Marco cat. Um, I meant to get that and show it in this video. But the Marco cat is a famous artifact. It's only about 6 inches long. And what I did, I had a replica, a souvenir replica, and I swapped it out for the real one. So I have the real one here in my house. Now, I know people are going to say, you didn't do that, Mark. How, if you did that, how would you say that on the air or on the YouTube? Because nobody's going to believe I did it. So anyway, I have the Marco. But what's cool about it, it's thought to be as old as 1,500 years old. It's pre-Columbian artwork. And usually that stuff, that those pre-Columbian wooden pieces, they just deteriorate, as did most of the things during that excavation. They pull them out of the mud or out of the dirt, and almost instantly they start to disintegrate and to deteriorate. And so this Marco cat is pristine. And it's a kneeling human, and it's got a head of a panther. Of course, the panthers are uh, native down here. And it's just so unusual to have a relic that old. Now, people lived here on Marco Island for 6,000 years. They were here before the pyramids. And it's just fascinating. You look at some of their, what little we have, and they have masks that are like tiki masks. You think of that as being Polynesian, but no, 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 they were here. So if you have a chance, watch that video. It's a fascinating, fascinating video. And if you have a chance to come to Marco Island, really visit that museum, because that museum it's free to the public. And it really is it's very well done. Right. Uh, Calusa Indians. Yeah. And they were here for a long time. So it's just quite fascinating and quite interesting. And people do find relics still to this day. But anything you find, of course, you have to turn over. It's not yours to own. So people oftentimes will go into the Everglades and that sort of thing. And every now and then they find something. And I'm sure people don't say anything and they just keep it without reporting it. But in theory, you're supposed to report it. Now, the other fascinating thing about that Marco cat, it doesn't belong to us. It's owned by the Smithsonian because they sponsored the archaeological dig back in 1896 that uncovered it. So the Max, what are you meowing about? Can you hear him? So it's only on loan for one more year. So if you get here within the next year, you can see that fascinating relic, and it's right here, right now. So that's a Marco Historical Museum. So I wanted to talk about some of the other museums that you're from Marco. Do you live at Marco now? I'm from Mark. I'm Mark from Marco, kinda. I'm from Wisconsin, but I have a place in Marco. Um, are you there right now? You live in Marco? We should maybe do a meetup at some point. It'd be nice to see someone that views the channel. I've done that on occasion. So there are some other museums. I told you that there are 5 official ones that you can see for free, and then there are some that you do have to pay for. And one that there he is, there's the big boy. One that I have been thinking of going to is the Museum of the Everglades. It's down in Everglades City. And this was a building from 1923. It was originally, he really wants my attention, doesn't he? Hey, buddy. Um, it was originally a laundry, is my understanding. But you might say, what's so interesting about a 1923 building that was a laundry? Because until about 1926, this area was only accessible by boat. Our 1923 is like the rest of the country's 1870. This was the wild frontier. The Everglades are the last untouched wilderness, really. And so these areas, until Tamiami Trail came through in 1926, it was really the Wild West. It was a wild frontier. People were just getting around with, they had motorboats in the 20s, obviously, but they were getting around by boats and they were getting around by uh, horses, horseback, a lot of. And what's interesting about the horses down here is a lot of the horses are said to be descended from some of those Spanish horses from Ponce de Leon, and they're still here. Fascinating. Hey, Lisa, welcome. Good to have you here. So, anyways, Museum of the Everglades. I've heard about it. I have never gone there, and I want to see it at some point. The Smallwood Store. You've seen the Smallwood Store, I think, twice now in some of my videos. It's on Chokoloskee Island. Chokoloskee Island is not a whole lot there. There's probably fewer than 300 people that live on the island. But the Smallwood Store was, again, one of these things was like a trading post that you only got to by water. And that one is not one of the official Collier County museums. That is just, I believe it's private. It costs like $5 or $10. It's just one little building. I've never gone in because I just never thought that the value was there. But I think just to make a video, I might go there and try that. Every time I go there, there's a dog that's kind of standing watch. He takes steps up into that Smallwood store. And he's always there, kind of guarding the door and guarding the stairwell. He looks like a fun little guy. So that's another one I wanted to do. Uh, the Naples Depot Museum have, it is right in downtown Naples. It's sort of between Tin City and Fifth Avenue downtown. I have been living here 4 years. I have never seen it open. They always have a listing when you go online that says that it's temporarily closed for hurricane, repair, whatever. I don't know what the heck hurricane is talking about because Ian was 2 years ago now, And I know that was closed long before Ian, at least 2 years before Ian. There is a virtual tour that you can take online. I guess I could go on that and maybe host a virtual tour for the channel. That might be interesting, but I can't figure out why that Depot Museum is closed. As soon as that Depot Museum opens, I think I'm going to go there and try to get a tour. So, as for the channel, lately there's been a resurgence on my grassy knoll videos, one in particular. There's that one video where I went there and they were doing a filming for what was the name of that show? Um, the Umbrella Academy. They were filming some scenes for the Umbrella Academy there. It was all closed off. And I went all over. I went to the grassy knoll and I went to where Zapruder took his photos and I went across the street and I went up over the overpass, and I went to all the areas that the only place I did not go in that one, I went to in a previous video, was behind the fence where a lot of wackadoodles say there was a shooter. There's no way. There's absolutely no way there was a shooter there. You cannot hide. You wouldn't stay hidden. People would see you. It's not like that area behind that fence is inaccessible to anybody else. And as soon as there was shooting, people would know it. They would hear it. They wouldn't have been looking around. And there was just no way. It would not be an easy escape. It's absolutely, if you ever go there, you will see what I mean. You can go behind that fence. You can stand behind that fence. Of course, it's a new fence now. It's not the same fence they had in 1963, but it's the same in the same place. So anyway, um, I went to all those places, and the video, got a lot of hits. But lately, it's been a resurgence, and people are coming back. And I think it's because President Trump said he was going to release some more information and declassify those JFK documents, which brings up another topic. Why are there documents 60 plus years later that are still classified? That would be like in the mid 1920s having things classified on the Kennedy assassination, on the Lincoln assassination. That's how bizarre that would be. I can't imagine what they're hiding, what damage could be done by releasing what information. I mean, any people who are associated with it in any active capacity, if they're not dead, they're in their late 80s, early 90s at the youngest. So I just, for the life of me, can't understand what could be so critical and so vital to the US that they would continue to classify those documents. I can't imagine what it is. I mean, anything that happened, how could there be more damage to the credibility of US agencies than there's been in the past 4 years? Really, with all of just all of the nonsense that's been going on, I think that just about every agency, from the CIA to the FBI to the Justice Department, I think they all at this point have zero credibility and they have ways to go to work themselves back up. I don't understand what could be so damaging that they're not revealing every single thing they know, unless they know for certain who the shooter is. I guess that could be if they know the shooter and it's, a Secret Service agent or something. I guess that could do it, but still, it's 60 years later. It's not like it would still be what's going on. Maybe I should take that back. All right. I'm going to leave it to all of you. Leave your comments down below. What do you think is going on that they do not want to declassify and release the rest of that Kennedy information? Now, as you know, I open many of my videos. In fact, the most recent one that I did on the museum, I open many of my videos standing in my balcony overlooking the beach and overlooking the Gulf of America. Yes, I said the Gulf of America because it has been designated that officially by the U.S. Board of Geographic Names. So it is officially the Gulf of America. We go around naming things and renaming things. Cape Canaveral became Cape Kennedy and became Cape Canaveral again. Mount McKinley, we renamed several times. There are a lot of things that, I mean, we're a young country yet. We're still finding our footing and we're renaming things. We are large enough now. We're powerful enough now. Um, we have the largest trade in that Gulf. We have probably the most active access in that Gulf. And certainly our shoreline is equal, maybe even longer than Mexico's. Why not Gulf of America? Why not? And since it's been officially recognized, I'm going to start calling it the Gulf of America. What do you guys think? Am I making a mistake? Does that seem political to you? I don't think it's being politicized at all. It makes perfect sense to me. Why would you do that? As your nation develops, as it grows, things are renamed, right? As I mean, we were still, allowing new states and as few as 60 years ago. So things move along. They progress, they change. Nothing stays constant. What I'm amused by this is Claudia Sheinbaum, which I thought, what a more Mexican name than Claudia Sheinbaum. But she is a president in Mexico, and she is threatening to sue Google over the renaming the Gulf of America. And I'm thinking, first of all, what court is she suing them in? What court is she suing them in? It would be absolutely hilarious if the president of Mexico had to sue in a United States court in order to complain about the name. And you notice it's not the Gulf of the United States of America, it's the Gulf of America. Last time I looked, Mexico was part of America. It was part of North America. Yeah, North America, South America, United States of America, Gulf of America. I'm calling it. All right. So, um, boy, I can't believe that. That almost took us to our half hour. Anything else going on out there, everybody, as we, kind of not quite drawing it to a close, but we are getting there. So Paul was saying that his brother and him have a second home that they rent out on Marco on Swan Drive. Ah, I know where Swan Drive is. Absolutely. And then certainly the area where I live. I'm on those high rise on South Beach, so you know my area very well. And so I think what I'm going to be doing is the upcoming videos you're going to probably be seeing are um, maybe going to be those museums. I don't know what to do about the. Okay, I've got a little change in my lifestyle. I have been, and a lot of this was uh, a lot of it started. I don't know if it started, but it was started before that. But it was certainly uh, heightened by my wife's illness. Um, little under a year ago, and I was eating unhealthy, and I could feel it in my body, and I was getting heavy. I don't know if you can see it yet, but I've lost about 17 pounds. So I'm cutting out uh, junk food and bar food and fast food, and I'm pretty much, if not vegan, pretty much, you know, uh, vegetable diet, plant-based diet, and it's been working for me. So the problem is, I don't know how I'm going to be able to continue with the restaurant videos. I think what I'm going to have to do is find some friends to go with me and have them order some of the other meals while I munch on a celery stick. I don't know yet, um, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that brings us to the end. It looks like we're kind of quiet in the peanut gallery. I want to thank you all for joining me. As always, I cannot express my appreciation enough. Honestly, I understand people have other things they can be doing, and it just warms my heart that people want to come here, spend a little time on this channel, and usually jibber jabber a little more. We're kind of quiet tonight, but that's okay. If you're back here later, please leave a comment down below. I love to read them. I love to respond to them. If you have any questions about Naples or Marco, I'm happy to tackle them. And if you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Everyone can share and like. But if you're new, subscribe. Even if you're watching it for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, take the plunge. And if you do subscribe, ring that bell icon up above. That way you'll know when I post new videos. So thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic week. And we will see you next week, Sunday night at 8 p.m. So long, everyone.